Okay, and we should be live. Let's check it. Takes a while to sync up.
I shall have a look.
You are going to hold the show until we're live?
I
Tell a
am
joke.
also having a look.
Tell a joke.
Tell a joke. No, I'm not good at telling jokes. I can see us on the YouTubes.
Oh, is it actually like got sound?
I had to press play though. I guess that's I've got autoplay turned off on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right.
Cool.
Ready to go?
We are ready to begin the show.
All right. Let's do the little countdown in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Big Week in Gaming podcast. And what do you know? It's been a big week in gaming. I'm Sweeney for episode 107 and this Sunday, the 4th of December, 2022. And this week's show, what did we think of the new Super Mario Brothers movie trailer? It's Nintendo versus the entire Smash Brothers community once again as the Smash World Tour is cancelled, and we predict the big reveals and winners of the 2022 Game Awards. If you'd like to support the show, we'd love to get you to subscribe on YouTube or on your favourite podcast app. If you're a mega fan, come join us on the Discord. All the links are in the description below or at bigwigpod.com. Joining me today, we have our executive producer, Intergot.
Hello.
And unfortunately, no Mike this week.
No, boo.
Yeah, he unfortunately couldn't make it, but he has mailed in some thoughts about the Mario movie trailer that I we shall read out when we get to that segment. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just us two this week, the original duo.
I was going to say he's like getting surgery or something, and then I'm like, I was going to go down this whole rabbit hole. I'm like, I better not.
Yeah, and then we'd have to like come up with what actual like condition he has, and then suddenly it could get really awkward because we could be talking about something that like someone that's watching has.
I was going to talk about some surgery that he might when he transitions back to the show. But I thought, well, that's a very dangerous path to go down.
That is a very dangerous path. And talking about dangerous paths, you know, a number of episodes ago, I introduced Mike as Kanye West. And then you said, "Oh, that was very risky," and I'm like, "I would not do the same these days after the last week."
Dude, I actually watched his whole interview with Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes, and I'm like, genuinely, he's the craziest person on the panel. Like, one guy is being sued for like $1 billion. The other guy is basically a neo-Nazi. And then the other one's Kanye West. It's like, it's one of the, like, you know, I laugh, but like, honestly, the guy's having a mental breakdown and people should not have him on shows. Like, I know Alex Jones, right? But even Lex Friedman had him on his podcast. And I actually have a lot of time for Lex Friedman, but I thought that was pretty poor form because the guy's obviously not well.
Yeah, and it takes a lot, I think, to get Elon Musk to backpedal on something he's super proud about, like, "Oh, I'm unbanning people," you know, and then to backpedal and say, "Oh, actually, we're locking Kanye's account." It's like, whoa, yeah.
This is not my take, but someone had a really funny take, which is George W. Bush needs to come on TV and go, "Kanye's doing a lot of harm to black people." And I'm like, because it's true. It should be like, Kanye doesn't care about black people. It's tough. It's tough.
I think I said last time we were chatting about this on the show, I'm like, you know, where does it go from here? It's like, it can't get worse, you know. It got worse. It got way worse.
Way worse. Like, I literally don't even think, because if, you know, there's part of it, I'm sure he's being a bit of a troll, right? But I don't know what else he can say, really. Like, at this stage, I don't think he can say anymore. It's really like, if he does certain things, like, you know, that lead singer from that UK band who was, like, convicted of some horrendous crimes.
Oh, yeah.
That I don't even want to touch on, even what the band is, right? But, like, that guy's obviously way worse than Kanye West, right? Like, legit. But Kanye West, from what you're saying, is pretty much just about as bad as you can get. So
yeah. And I'm just thinking, so only 6 months ago, we had a segment on the show where we talked about the fact that Kanye pitched a game to Shigeru Miyamoto.
That's right.
And that was only 6 months ago. Just think, in that amount of time, how far it's gotten to the point where I'm almost like, almost want to take that video down because I'm like, I don't want to have anything to do with Kanye on this bloody channel. But like how, like we were like almost praising him in that segment for, different reasons and stuff.
True.
Other than saying, obviously, he's just a wacky dude, but man, it has come so far along since then. That...
We did say he's a wacky dude, but he's like, he's at a point now, honestly. I think it's one of those ones where they might need to take him off rotations on Spotify playlists and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's kind of the point where he's at. Because I actually was at a cafe last week and they had Kanye West playing at the cafe, and I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know.
It certainly got me to take one of his CDs out of my multi-stacker CD thing.
Really? Did it? Did it actually? Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I would rather not listen to this for a while.
It would be a bit awkward if someone came into the car and then it was like Kanye West like slamming on there. It's like,
Well, this unfortunately this is not, well, maybe fortunately this is not a Kanye West political podcast. No. But so I just want to hype we will be talking about the Mario movie trailer in a little bit, just the general information about it as well. But if you want to check out our live reaction, you go to our YouTube channel and make sure you click on the live tab because that's where it will be, and you can actually see our live reaction to the little mini direct they had.
You know, that live thing is actually throwing me now. I went on to, which I don't like anymore, the H3 podcast, but I wanted to see what their reaction to something was. And I'm like, oh, they haven't posted a video for like 2 months. I'm like, what the hell? Have they deleted all their videos? And then I'm like, oh, it's the live tab. I'm like, this live tab is really stupid, honestly.
At least give the people on YouTube or the content creators the ability to go, okay, I want this to show up in that one or that one, like that would solve the issue. Because then it's like, there's times when you probably don't want just a general live feed thing to show up in the normal video feed, but then you have a bit more control over it. I know you said that you may have a question this week, but I don't know if you're gonna waste it with Mike not being here.
Well, but the other thing to balance is like, is the question ever going to get answered? So, you know what I realized? That my sign behind me says no mic, Bigwig. I didn't change it. It's actually been correct more times since I've left it like that than incorrect. All right, do you want me to ask the question? I guess because Mike won't listen to the show, right?
All right.
So I'll ask him again. So sorry, audience. So the question is, if there was like a little devil, he popped in, right? And he said... And I'm trying to think if I should frame the actual number or ask you what the number would be.
Is it like the devil on your shoulder kind of thing?
Not a devil on your shoulder, just like a little demon devil, anti-genie, an anti-genie, right?
All right.
Instead of giving you a wish, it's giving you a choice, right? And the choice is you either play games and lose 3 years of your life, so your life expectancy, or don't play games and you're guaranteed to have those 3 years, including from this point on, you're guaranteed to have 3 years minimum. Like you could drop dead tomorrow. If this was I love it.
No, if this was like offered to me when I was much younger, let's say like 18, 19 or something, I think the answer would probably be, no, I'd rather play games, right?
I like the way you're thinking about
because
this.
I've got a lot more time there, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know these days. I don't know. Like I love video games. Obviously, Mike would definitely call me addicted to video games in many ways. But I don't think I'd want to lose 3 years of my life.
Really? So you'd say no? You'd give up gaming?
Probably at this point. Well,
wow, I'm shocked.
It's like, okay, does something like a Sudoku puzzle or a crossword count? That's not a video game.
Yes, no, that's a game.
Okay.
That's any game.
So it's any kind of
mobile game, any game.
Any kind of game.
I say video games, so not like board games. You can play board games.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like a pen and paper Sudoku.
You can do pen and paper. You can do pen and paper.
Okay. Because then I could just do like logic puzzles to get my fix. I think So yeah, I don't think I would.
Achievements.
Hey, I can get achievements from my toothbrush, so that's all right. I'll focus on that. How about you, Nico?
I would give it up in a heartbeat. Like I'm not taking. I picked 3 years because that's the drop in your life expectancy with heavy drinking for your life.
Okay.
Right? So I thought that'd be a funny like data point to use. But no, I would give it up. But I think it becomes interesting when it's like 1 year. It's like 1 year. Okay, 1 year. Like, what does that mean? Like, it could be dying at like 87 or 88. Like, is that really going to make a difference? And then for the rest of my life, I can't play games. Like 1 year, I'm like, whew, I don't know. Even me, I don't even play that many games.
You know,
in the grand scheme of
the
things.
timing of this question is very kind of strange to
Dark.
me because for the first time, I never watched it before. I started watching Death Note, right?
Yeah.
And Death Note has a similar question offered to a character in
Oh,
that,
really?
where it's like, would you give up part of your life to get this ability or something, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, that was this week. And timing for you
That's
to
funny.
also talk about a demon, because it's like a demon asking the question as well. So that's, good timing.
That
on
is funny.
one.
Joe Jives did ask a clarifying question. It depends if RTX is on or off.
Well, I think you're not a fan of RTX anyway, so I don't think that
No,
would
I don't mind
impact your,
RTX. It's just like I actually looked at my Xbox Game Pass account, right? And it's got 495 games or something on there, right? And then I saw, there's a way to sort it by ray tracing. So I clicked ray tracing, and there was like 7 games. I was like, holy shit! Like it was very like stark, just like. Man, all the GPU stuff is all pushed about ray tracing, and there's like 7 games out of 495 that support it. It's like, okay, this is marketing. As a marketer myself now.
Well, I think it's time to chat about some video games.
Yes, video games.
So
Video
Indigo,
games.
what have you been up to this week?
My normal Splatoon 3 Picross mix. I'll mention Splatoon 3 later in the Sizzler section. Because there's the new season out. Picross, I'm actually smashing this new Picross game I'm playing on the Switch. I really like the Game Boy Picross 2. Picross 2, it only was released in Japan. It's really good, actually. Like, they did some really good quality of life. Like, it's actually one of the best versions of Picross. There's only a couple of things I would change. So I'd really recommend that for people if they haven't played it on Game Boy.
I didn't realize, I saw it the other day, that there's like a Super Nintendo Picross that made by Jupiter that had like 12 versions that was like
Yeah.
via like a satellite download or something.
Yeah,
like
correct.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's Super Famicom stuff.
Yeah, because there's like a Donkey Kong one, and it's like Donkey Kong Country style Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you can get a compilation of them. Like, I actually have read so much about Picross, it's quite sad. Like, I read all the history of like these variations, and there's like a collection and then a collection plus, and it's like the same. And I'm like, because I'm like kind of going through them all. I don't think I'll play them all because it's like so long, but I am kind of working my way through, to be fair. So, but yeah, I've been playing that. I actually installed Skyrim because I watched the full interview with Todd Howard on the Lex Friedman podcast. Really interesting, like, you know, if you want to get a bit of an insight into Bethesda and the upcoming games and just how he thinks about games in general. But they were just banging on about Skyrim so much. I'm like, I got to install Skyrim and like install some mods. And then, because I've never really played it on PC, only Switch. And I must admit, I started trying to do the mods and I'm like, this is fucking annoying. And I was looking at adult mods. I'm like, this is so weird. And then I'm like, what's a mod that I need? And I'm kind of going through it. I'm like, I don't really feel like I need these things. Then I started playing the intro cutscene. I'm like, I can't skip this. All right, I'm deleting this game. That was my Skyrim journey,
Yeah, so I was about to say that was your week of Skyrim.
pretty much. And then the game I actually have been playing a bit is Loop Hero. So remind me, have you played a lot of Loop Hero?
I have not played Loop Hero, but I am familiar with Loop Hero.
This game is fucking good, man. This game is like insane how good it is. I'm like super addicted already. It's like very similar in my mind. Not necessarily the structures and everything, but the loop of like a Slay the Spire, where it's just like, just one more run. Like I was playing it, I'm like, I gotta cook dinner. And I'm like, but just maybe if I do this, I can get more resources. And it's a bit of a rogue light. So, you know, it's got that rogue element, but you keep building your base and other things that you can do. And it's just really, really well made. It's pretty insane how well made it is. And it's a game maker game, which I thought was pretty neat. But definitely check this out. This is, I think I had this on Epic Games.
I'm trying to remember if they've made anything else that have.
I don't think Like they're Russian, I think. So maybe I shouldn't be playing this game.
Okay, a game called Please Don't Touch Anything, which I'm not familiar with. For some reason, I thought Loop Hero was made by someone that had also made a game that was like really well renowned, but I don't know that game that well. So.
Yeah. So like they are Russian. It's kind of interesting, right? Because is there an actual embargo on Russia at the moment? I don't even know.
Well, who are the devs? Atomic Heart devs, are they Russian?
Yeah, Russian. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's definitely no embargo on that game coming out on Game Pass and stuff.
It's interesting,
like that,
isn't it? Look, anyway, like I don't know. Like I feel bad for them because it's not like they're trying to wage war on Ukraine, right?
Oh, yeah.
But Loop Hero is freaking amazing, man. It's such a cool game. Like I can actually fully understand why people had this last year as their game of the year. Seriously, it's very of the ilk of like Vampire Survivors, Slay the Spire, like tight, Hades, tight game, like really insanely addictive loop, and just like kind of an interesting concept the way you play the game. Like it's very like everything's kind of automatic. It's about like how you set up the loop itself. It's very cool. Actually, I might not talk much more about it and wait until you play it. I do feel like it's a PC game. It would work on anything, but man, just having a mouse and being able to click things and drag things around feels to me is like the way it's intended to be played.
Well, I'm just checking. It's only on Switch and PC. So
is it? Yeah. Oh, okay.
And Switch came a while after, because I remember them pushing it in a direct announcement. But it's not on PlayStation or Xbox. So
I'd imagine it's going to come out on like Game Pass, because it was on Epic Games for free. That's where I got it. So I didn't even pay for this bloody game. Like, yeah, it's friggin' really good, man. I really super highly recommend this game. I do think it's like Slay the Spire though. I'm gonna try to beat it. I don't even know if you can beat it. I haven't read much about the game, but I don't think I'm gonna try to stick to it, because I could play this game for like 500 hours easy.
Jesus.
Like it's one of those kind of games.
500. Just talking about Epic, have they started their whole free games of Christmas thing yet, or is that?
I think it's next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, as a PSA, if anyone doesn't know, they give out a free game generally every day for 12 days or something, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they went longer last time. So, like, what are they saying this year? I think they're saying it's going to be longer. It might be. I don't know. I'm just checking it now live.
And I mean, some of these games are absolute bangers. They're not like bottom of the barrel stuff.
No, exactly. I can't find it right now, but yeah, I remember seeing that there's going to be like 15 games, I think, that are going to be free. But yeah, sometimes they'll have like insane, like Batman Arkham Trilogy and stuff like that. Here it is, yeah, from the 15th of December every day, all the way out to the 29th. So, and then one final giveaway for the last week.
Well, talking about 12 Days of Christmas, True Achievements have started their 12 Days of Christmas challenge that I love every year. So for anyone that may have listened when I've talked about this in the last prior 2 years, basically, obviously it's an achievement website. It's the most popular one. So what they do is every day leading up to, those 12 Days of Christmas, basically they will give you a challenge, and then you have to complete it. Like this year, for instance, I think the first day was, hey, unlock an achievement from a game that has the word remastered or definitive in the title. So I'm like, okay, so I got an Ori in the Blind Forest definitive edition achievement. I'm like, that's cool. The next day was, hey, unlock 2 achievements, so it's new achievement an extra achievement every day. That has 2 capital letters in the start of the achievement name and things like that. So, and they give you a way to check what those valid achievements are and stuff. So I just want to mention that, I love doing it each year. I did a little bit of a mini segment 2 years ago on it, if someone wants to actually know a bit more about it. But yeah, it's just a cool thing to do, like just really interesting little mini challenges. So now the other game, another game I've been playing this week, and unfortunately it's put me in a bit of a weird spot, is a game called Quest Hunter that I actually completed a couple months back. And I didn't really talk about it in the show, but I did do a special segment where I challenge you and Mike to describe some games based on their title alone. I don't know if you remember that. There was like Royal
and I
Frontier.
think I guessed one of them pretty closely. Or
yeah.
Like that.
And the one that I didn't end up using was this game, Quest Hunter, because the name is so generic. It's like Quest Hunter. What the hell? It's actually a decent little action RPG. But anyway, like that game came out like 2 years ago, And then out of nowhere, they dropped a DLC pack this week. And one a pretty pricey one at that. It's like $20, right? And I thought, I'm like, you know what? Like, I liked the game. This is a very indie dev. And I'm like, I'm going to get this DLC pack, right? I'm going to support them. I'm going to play it. Like, I'm not going to wait for it to go on special and stuff. And I'm playing through it, and it corrupted my save.
Oh, no.
I'm like, and I don't have another save file, and I'd have to play through the entire game again to get there. And I'm like, so the first thing I did, it's like, this DLC came out that day, and I ended up emailing the support of the devs. They're called 2 Zombie Games. And about 3 hours after I emailed them, I got an email from them, actually from the CEO of the company.
That's awesome.
saying, oh, we're aware of the issue, and thanks, can you, blah, blah, blah. And so it's a bit of a mini rant because it's still not fixed yet, but they are fixing it. So it's like also like a bit of a good guy dev kind of situation.
Yeah.
So, but it is like, if that doesn't get fixed, I'm just going to be like, man, like I ponied up $20 and it's just ruined my save files. Like, God damn it.
Can I just say, like, because that triggers something. I was thinking about playing Minecraft again, right? Then I was checking out Minecraft Dungeons, and it has this massive warning on the Xbox Game Pass store at the start of it. It's like huge warning. If you are uninstalling this game on Windows 10, your save file will be deleted, and there's no way to recover it, and it's not cloud saved or something like that. It's the most unprofessional description I've ever seen. I'm like, fucking I rant all the time about Microsoft and the shit way they do things. And it's amazing they own fucking Windows. It's like they don't know how to fucking set things up. Like a game they own now.
I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen heard anything like that. That's wild.
Yeah, I thought it was like so weird. I'm like, why is it like this? This is so weird.
Well, what's weird there is I'm just checking if it's
look, I'm just making sure I can't dox myself here. Okay, it looks like I don't have anything that I.
Okay, so
look. So this is the screen. You can see here. If you are playing, so this is Minecraft Dungeons, right? It says here, if you are playing the Windows 10 version of this game and you uninstall the game, your save files will be permanently removed. This means that your save file will be deleted and you will lose all your progress. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is the shit that drives me crazy with Microsoft and the Xbox ecosystem. It's like, shit works, but then sometimes doesn't. It's like super unreliable and super inconsistent. Minecraft, man. Fuck.
It's really weird because on True Achievements is also really good about if you want to find out what features a game has, if it's play anywhere, if it's stuff like that, it'll list it all. What's really weird is, so there's cross-play, there's transferable progress, but it's not called play anywhere. So play anywhere is generally where you could pick it up
Cloud
on console, stuff like that. But it's like there's a Nintendo Switch version as well. So I'm like, how does this all work? It's so weird. It's just weird anomaly, this game.
So what's this secret game?
Game? So secret game. So I was actually, Mike's not here, and I was going to kind of like pretend, I did play a little bit, pretend that I'd actually played a lot of Disco Elysium. Just because I know he's wanted me to play that game for a while. I did actually try it for a little bit. But the game I was actually then going to say...
So you're not going to talk about Disco Elysium?
No. The game the secret game that I was actually going to say is actually Fall Guys. I finally played some Fall Guys.
Yeah. Okay.
I've wanted to try for a while.
What'd you play it on? Xbox.
So I played it on Xbox.
Yeah. What a fucking stupid question.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, I'm just like, I just want to just try it out, and that game is pretty fun. Like, it's definitely a game where, I got my fill after like an hour and a half, and it's like some of the like challenges they put you in, like, not this one again. Like, I'd rather something else. But I can get why that game blew up in popularity, but I also understand why people didn't really stick with it, because I don't think it's really a game that you stick with,
Yeah, I think even Among Us is a bit like that, right? It's these type of games that they get super hyped up. They don't really have a huge amount of longevity. And I think the way they rolled it out, where they had it on PlayStation initially and then it was like nowhere, really hurt the game, obviously. The Switch version is shit. Like, I'd imagine the PC and the Xbox is fine, but man, the Switch version is rough. It is rough.
Oh yeah, Xbox version is like fine. Like, I'm playing
Yeah.
Series X, but it's the thing with Among Us though is like depending on the group of people who are playing, like there's emergent storytelling, and like there's all different ways game can happen. Whereas Fall Guys, it's like the same thing each time, just with some variation. But it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun. Like I'd play it again if especially with a group of people.
Yeah.
But
That's where it would have been really fun when everyone was hyped about it and, like they're getting all crazy about
there's
it.
a cool Sonic stage actually, like that they come.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
okay.
that was neat. But the game I probably played the most this week, I talked about it a little bit last week, was Scarlet Nexus. So that was that action RPG, very anime from Bandai Namco. And I talked last week that I didn't really like the game that much. It had amazing combat. And I kind of undersold how good the combat is. Like this game, if somebody said it was made by Platinum, you wouldn't think twice about it. That's how good the combat is. It does actually play very similar to something like a Nier Automata or something like that. But I said like the story and like a lot of the rest of the game, I just wasn't feeling it. The story was horrible, and the story did get better. But what I didn't talk about last week as well is the fact that when you start a new game, you choose between two characters, and it's like, okay, do you play this person's story or that person's story? And while there's definitely crossover in levels and stuff, they're almost completely different playthroughs for like 70% of it. And playing through the other side of the story, like on a New Game Plus, filled in a lot of the gaps and made me go, that story was ridiculous. It did make a lot more sense. It's still not a good story, but it did improve where it's like, things you like, that is just, why is that character acting like that? It's so stupid. And then you kind of understand why they're acting like that a bit. And I kind of wish I'd played through that other story first, because I think it would have worked better. But it ended up winning me over a little bit. I think it's still on Game Pass. I think if anyone likes those kind of like JRPG action RPGs, it's worth a shot, definitely. But I think that, I'll ended up being a little disappointed by it. But,
okay, interesting.
So
I'm really fascinated about Disco Elysium, though.
Well, I didn't play enough of it to really want to talk to it. I've only played got out to like the outside of the hotel that you start in and talk to the character. So the one thing I did notice, obviously the writing is fantastic in the game, but it's also writing that wouldn't work in 95% of games. Like it's very much, if anyone says, every game should be like that game in terms of writing, it's like, no. But it is fantastic. And the voice acting, I'd be interested to know, like I obviously haven't played much, but because they added the voice acting in that director's cut version or whatever it's called, I'd be interested to know Final Cut, how people that played the game before the voice acting felt about the voice acting, because I think it's really good, but it's also very, very like almost jarring at first. Like it's like almost over the top in some regards, but it's cool. So it's just.
But that's a fresh take for you, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like I think coming to it fresh, I'm like, okay, this all works, but that's why I'm wondering if someone played it and then came back to replay it. It's like, I don't know if I like the voice acting kind of thing. I'd be interested to get people's reaction on that, but
because I totally think if you are coming from not having that, then getting it, and it's not what you would expect, right? It'd be like jarring. Because like a weird anecdote. So I got the family photos for like Christmas photos today, and they're all come through in digital format and stuff like that. And I was asking my wife which one does she prefer, right? And then at the end of it, I'm like, I could like, I said this pretty much as a joke because I didn't want to do this, but I'm like, I could just take like the best of everything and make it into one photo, right? And she goes, oh yeah, do it. And I'm like, no. She's like, no, do it, right? Like, and I'm like, okay, I'll try. So I actually amalgamated all the best takes, each of the best heads. And you got to understand, it's like my two boys, and then we got two dogs in the photo as well, right? So there's like 6 and then Santa. So it was the best shot for Santa as well, right?
Wait, so did they give you like digital versions?
Yeah, correct, right?
Okay, wow.
So I picked all the 7 best faces and merged them all together into one with Affinity Photo, right? Affinity Photo 2. And then I showed my mum who's in town. I'm like, this is the Christmas photo. Because she was there. She saw it. And she goes, oh, this is amazing. I go, it looks weird, doesn't it? And she's like, what? What do you mean? And she's like looking at it really carefully. I'm like, she's like, what do you mean? What's weird about it? Like you've taken me out of the photo? I go, no. It's 7 photos all combined into one. And she's like, what the fuck? And we're using that as the photo now.
That's funny. That's
So
funny.
it's going to be interesting to see what you think because you'll be getting one. So
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Now that you've told me,
yeah,
so
but
you've kind of ruined.
other people won't know.
You
Other
could
people
have
won't
given
know.
me that challenge and asked me if I know something.
Nah, because I'm nervous that you'd actually pick it up. So now I've got a good defense. Other people are not that understanding of the photoshopping of life.
All right. Well, I think it's time to get into some news, and we're kicking off with the Super Mario movie mini direct trailer thingy that we watched. So Nintendo held that little mini event that was probably only like, I don't know, 6-8 minutes or something. It was really short. So it had the new trailer, but it also had some, bit of talking heads from some of the actors and actresses and all that stuff.
Hey, wait, you're missing the most important part. That I was wearing a Socceroos jumper, and basically, like, there's no chance the Socceroos are going to win. Massive, huge underdogs playing the 10th best team in the world, right, in Denmark. And then we won that night and made it through to the next round of the World Cup. How crazy is that? That's the most important thing.
That is completely irrelevant. No, we did do that live reaction, as I said at the top of the show. If you want to go check out our actual, like, legit live reactions to the trailer that's playing on the YouTube B-roll at the moment, you can check that out. But look, I wouldn't say there's a lot to talk about that we didn't kind of cover there, but I think we both thought that the trailer was really cool.
Yeah, like where I'm kind of landing on it is I've gone from like, if this is like a Sonic equivalent movie, okay, cool, right? To now I'm like, this might just be a good movie. It might just be a good feel-good movie, just like not quite a Pixar level movie, right? But like, the Lego movie? I really like the Lego movie. Like, my kids watch that. I could still, like, I've watched it a few times. I still sit down and watch it. I'm like, that's a good movie. It's not like setting the world on fire or anything, but I think given that, like, I love Mario and this universe so much that, if it's half decent, I'm going to love it. So I'm going to see it with my eldest son when it comes out.
You know what? As a bit of a side note, you know what animated movie I thought wasn't that great and everyone seemed to love? Toy Story 4. I didn't like Toy Story 4.
Yeah, dude, like, so I'm way off Pixar in general, right? I think the Cars movies suck balls. Like, they're so bad, right? And I've seen them a bunch of times, and I've never liked them, not one single time. And Toy Story, I really like Toy Story 3, but Toy Story 4 just felt like, this is like, what are they doing? Like, why are they making... And they're making Toy Story 5 right now.
Toy Story 3 felt like such a good kind of almost like wrap up to that story.
Yeah, it was quite poignant the way they made it.
Number 4 just really felt like they just need an excuse to get this one out. But
it's very it's really purely Disney, Toy Story 4, right? It's got more heart than most Disney stuff does these days, but it's still like, I don't know, it's a bit icky. And then the fact that they're making Toy Story 5 just gives me the shits, man.
Well, with the Super Mario movie, I think it looks way better than Toy Story 4 personally.
Oh, that's a big call. Yeah,
I have I have Mike's reaction.
Yes.
He hasn't given me approval to post this, but to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, considering he's not here. But I thought,
let's just go rogue.
but like we're going to have a segment, and Mike's going to give his thoughts because he wasn't on the live reaction, and he says the trailer looks all right. Saw it early today. I'll wait till it's on a streaming service, but it could be a great cinema film. So, glowing endorsement. Wait till it's on a streaming service.
I might watch it if it comes to some streaming service.
Look, knowing Mike's, how Mike feels about like Mario and Nintendo IP in general, I think, you have to like.
That's actually a huge endorsement.
That is actually an endorsement.
Yeah, that's actually a massive endorsement of the movie. The movie's great.
So I just wanted to reiterate as well. We've talked about it before that this movie has like a spread release schedule, so it's not all coming out in every region the same day, but like quite spread out across March to like late April next year. So in some countries in Europe, like obviously, like I'm not going to list them all, but basically between the 22nd of March to like the 30th of March in a whole bunch of countries there. For Australia and New Zealand and UK, it's dropping on the 30th of March. And then the 7th of March for USA 7th of April for USA and Canada. And Japan on the 27th of April. So they're getting it last in the list that I saw. So.
Why do you think, like, because remember I mentioned this last time and I'm like, is this just right? I don't get this, right? But why do you think they're doing this?
I have zero idea. I don't know if that's actually common for because this is
Not anymore. Not anymore.
but for you know, I look at Super Mario movie and I'm like, this is a Western production, right? In my head, because it's Illumination and everything, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's common for Western movies to get a later release date in like Japan, for instance. So I'm not sure.
But even like having it 2 weeks apart, I thought was quite strange in like Europe to the US. Like,
This is a complete shot in the dark, but maybe there's some public holidays or something around
it's
that
like Easter,
time.
but
I'm just wondering if there's something where it's like it makes sense for them to have it in that week and it's going to get them the most like interest. I have no idea, but maybe.
okay. So like, okay, this is interesting. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna double check this. So same studio, right?
Some deep investigative journalism here.
This is what we get into sometimes, like some stupid shit, right? Anyway, how do I bring this up? Just give me a second.
Following on from our frame-by-frame analysis in the live reaction video.
So, Minions: The Rise of Gru, that's coming out this year, right? 2020. Well, it came out this year, sorry. 2022. These are the same people, right? So if you actually go to the release dates, I actually had this release dates. You see that it came out in Australia on the 16th of June, right?
Mm.
And then look at this, Japan, 15th of July. So maybe it's, just their pattern.
Man, Italy got that late.
I wonder if it's a bit of a press junket, you know what I mean? Like they're taking some of the voice actors around the place. There
Maybe.
you go. Hey, we're a big Australian podcast. I want to interview Chris Pratt. And I want to go, what's your best Italian version of Mario? Come on, do it for the people.
I'm going to ask him about that. You know, what it was like to work on that movie with. What was it that? It was the movie where Joaquin Phoenix like fell in love with an AI, and Chris Pratt was like one of his colleagues. Her, yeah.
That's an awesome movie, right?
That is a good movie.
But there was one problem with that movie. I watched it with my parents, right? And then there's one scene where he's like basically making love to the AI, right? And we're all
Scarlett Johansson in AI form.
We're all sitting there, and it's like very awkward, even as an adult. It's because it's also it's actually more intimate than a straight up graphic sex scene, in my opinion, because it's more like, you know, mental. So, hey, like, would you interview Seth Rogen if he could come on the show?
I don't think I've ever interviewed anyone in my life other than like
we did
random work newsletter.
No, we did.
Or something.
No, we interviewed someone for our prior podcast.
Yes. That
was an actor.
Okay, that was. That's probably the one.
We got chops. Interviewing chops.
Straight from Australian kids TV to Hollywood.
All right, I'll reach out to Nintendo to see how we go.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's any more thoughts you have about the Mario movie.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go watch it. I'm excited.
Cool. Same. It was a bit of a beast to the next story, so I thought we'd jump into it, which is Nintendo versus the Smash World Tour and everything that's going on with this. So this is probably the biggest news story of the week from what I've seen. Well, it's just in general, like it just seems to be the one that dominated like the subreddits and the news sites and stuff. Whether or not that's a indication it was a slow news week or it was just like everyone loves a bit of drama, you know. But this is definitely drama. So we basically had, you know, the biggest Smash probably like circuit ever from what I've read get their championships cancelled, which were meant to happen like mid-December because of basically failed license talks and negotiations with Nintendo. So there's a lot here. I guess one thing I just want to say up front is this is a real evolving story. So we're just going to talk about what we know up until this date. There could be news that comes out tomorrow and it might change our opinions and stuff. And just just like any of these kind of stories, obviously, you know, we're going to try to take a real, you know, like try to really see it down the middle and look at the facts. But there is obviously there's a lot of uproar about this from the community. So the Smash World Tour this year had over 6,400 events as part of the tour across the world and had over 325,000 entrants. So this is massive. And they claimed, I don't know if it's the case, but the largest esports tour in history, from what they've said. And those championships that were meant to happen mid-December had a prize pool of over 250,000 US dollars, with next year's tour hoping to up to like 350,000. So this is a big deal in the Smash community, and it was also a real beacon of light after the pandemic and everything kind of like really cut off like all esports communities, but obviously the Smash community as well. But yeah, in a lengthy statement, the Smash World Tour, which is run by VG Bootcamp, they outline that the difficulties faced trying to get that license from Nintendo were essentially the reason why they cancelled the event. So, quote, "Without any warning, we received notice the night before Thanksgiving that Nintendo would no longer, from Nintendo that we could no longer operate. This was especially shocking given our discourse with Nintendo the past 12 months." So this statement is, there's a lot here. We can't go through it all. And they're kind of, I'll bring up the Panda Global stuff in a second, but there's not only obviously were they trying to explain the process they went through with Nintendo over like 12 months to get this license. So it's not something they just applied for and they just knocked them back, but also the fact that there's a rival circuit out there being run by esports group Panda Global that they have basically claimed that there was, you know, a lot of shenanigans happening with them and tournament or operators and things like that. So I don't know where you want to start with that. Into it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a big beast, isn't it? I mean, this statement's super long. Like this is becoming like a consistent thing that's happening in games at the moment. You've got this, and then the other one we didn't go into the nth level of detail because Mike wasn't keen to talk about it. Was the Activision Blizzard stuff where they also had like a really long statement all about PlayStation and like Sony and Xbox and how they operate and lots of redacted stuff, and it was pretty interesting stuff as well. But
well, what I might start with the Panda Global stuff because I think it kind of sets up, you know, the scene because Nintendo obviously
like this
denied giving the license. No, it's part of that statement, the first statement that they put out, Smash World Tour. Basically,
this one.
That letter. So within this letter, not only obviously do they talk about the relationship with Nintendo, but with Panda Global, they claim that Panda Global, who, as I mentioned, they're officially partnering with Nintendo for that rival circuit called the Panda Cup. They claim in this letter that they were involved in pressuring tournament organizers to sign on to that Panda Cup and not the Smash World Tour exclusively, and all face potential shutdown. Right, so that's the whole thing. It's that, you know, the people claiming that the head CEO of Panda Global, I think his name's Dr. Allen, was actually going to tournament organizers or like specific ones that I'll mention in a moment and saying, hey, look, if you don't sign on with us exclusively, Nintendo could shut you down, right? So when Nintendo raised that with, when Smash World Tour raised that with Nintendo, like, hey, what's going on here? Nintendo said, the Panda CEO, Dr. Allen, does not represent Nintendo, and they would have to have a conversation with him about his behavior. Smash World Tour said, unfortunately, the attempts from Panda to undermine our tour did not stop, and the CEO continued to tell organizers that they were definitely not coming back in 2022, and if we did, they'd get shut down shortly after their announcement. Furthermore, organizers were told that their individual events would also be at risk if they were on the Smash World Tour. So basically just, you know, it's almost like threats, right? And again, this is Smash World Tour claiming this. A few organizers told us this directly, and as the primary reason they did not participate in the Smash World Tour because they felt that pressure. And they also claimed that Panda threatened the major Smash broadcaster beyond the summit with a shutdown if they did not partner up with the Panda Cup and provide them broadcasting rights. So I just want to set the scene about the claims there because when in Nintendo's statements why they, you know, didn't issue a license, they actually mentioned this. They bring this up and everything. So I just want to get that out. And that's been a lot of where the hatred has kind of been directed, you know, especially in the early first days of this whole thing. In terms of Nintendo denying the license for the Smash World Tour, I remember like they had a championship in like mid-December. So happened this week. In November, Nintendo informed, Nintendo informed Smash World Tour they would not be issuing them a license for the upcoming championships or any activity in 2023. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack there because it's like it's one thing to say, hey, we're not going to issue you stuff for this thing that you've proposed, but for anything next year, right? And this led to a lot of people like really, especially initially, worrying like, hey, what does this mean? Because they basically said, you know, as a last-ditch effort, this is Smash World Tour, we asked if we could continue running the championships until next year without a license and shift our focus to working with Nintendo 2024. We were told directly that those times are now over. And that's the statement that the community is like, wait, what the fuck? Like, does this mean that we can no longer run events if Nintendo don't issue a license? And remember, this was a huge circuit, right? This is not just a small grassroots thing. A lot of those mini events were grassroots that made part of it, but like they basically thought that was the final nail in the coffin, and they had to cancel the championships. And that kind of that was where it ended with that first statement. And that was on I think it was the 30th. No, what was it? 30th of November?
Yeah, I think it was around that.
Yeah, so, and it's obviously been a few days since then. Yeah, it's been
American time.
Quite a few days since then. So then there's been updates, but where it started off was Smash World Tour saying we're cancelling because Nintendo say we can't operate without a license, and everything's fallen through. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack in this whole thing. First of all, they talked about how Nintendo was so good working with them throughout like the first like maybe 7 to 8 months of this whole thing. And then it's almost like it felt like there was just a pin drop. And then they're like, no, you can't do this. And that's where people were like, well, where's Panda Global involved in this? Because they're the ones partnered with Nintendo. Are they pressuring Nintendo to do this? So there was so many people just throwing like wild accusations out there about how Panda Global's involvement and everything, but clearly there was some stuff going on. But this brings us to the next thing, which was Nintendo actually, their official statement on this, because remember that was Smash World 2 just saying, hey, this is what happened. So first Nintendo, a spokesman spoke to Kotaku, and they basically said, unfortunately, after continuous conversations with the Smash World Tour and after giving the same deep consideration we apply to any potential partner, we were unable to come to an agreement with Smash World Tour for a full circuit in 2023. So they're referencing next year, not even this championships. Nintendo did not request any changes to or cancellation of the remaining events in 2022, including the 2022 championships, considering the negative impact on players who were already planning to participate. So Nintendo saying that they didn't request the event to be cancelled. All right. Now, there's another official statement, but this. I remember like watching like content creators like and like major players in the scene like Hungrybox talking about this like the day it came out, and then like a couple days later when this statement came out, just being utterly confused. Like, wait, so has it been a miscommunication? Are Panda able to hold this championships, but they thought Nintendo said they couldn't? But it's like, it's so weird. It's saying, okay, you can't have a license to run this, and you can't operate, but we're not saying you have to cancel it.
Well, I understand what that means legally. So we're saying we are not licensing it, but essentially they're also saying they're not going to enforce the non-compliance with the fact that you don't have a license. There's one thing that we need to establish, right? Like, just the way the law works in all the countries we're talking about, right? It's even stricter in Japan, and it's like really different in Japan. But most of the countries we're talking about, America, Australia, Europe, have pretty much the same general concept that this is Nintendo's IP. And if you want to play these games competitively, even if you don't stream it, right? But if you want to have an event and bring people in, even if it's not charging money, right? It is their right, their legal right, to like basically shut that down, because it's a usage of their license, their IP, right? The only right you have is to play the game at your house, basically, right? Or online with their friends in a format that they have approved of, right? Now, that's the legal perspective, right? So I think from their perspective, they're basically like, we don't want to give you a license. That's the whole point of what they're trying to say. And we're just saying you don't need to cancel this year's events. But essentially, like, if you run next year's events, we'll come after you. That's how I'm kind of translating their statement.
Yeah, and I mean, they go into like Smash World Tour in that first statement. They said like, I read it all, but there's so much there that it's like they definitely kind of go into a bit more there about, like why they felt they needed to cancel. But it is a real kind of interesting thing that, even like people that are really well versed, like I'm an outsider to the Smash scene. I love Smash Brothers.
We're both
and
there,
I have a passing knowledge of like some of the main players and organizations and stuff, but I'm not in that world. But there's people I was saying like the Hungry Boxes and everything, and there was a good chat that he had, Hungry Box had with a Panda Global member, IBDW, about this, and they were basically also just like really confused at this, like situation, and that was around that time. But I guess what I kind of wanted to get to, so Nintendo, that was their spokesperson talking to Kotaku, and then 2 days later they had their bigger official statement about this whole thing. And it actually goes into, it doesn't exactly say why they didn't issue the license, but it gives a bit more context. And in that official statement, it says, Nintendo's decision was solely based on our assessment of the proposals submitted by the Smash World Tour and our evaluation of their unlicensed activities. This decision was not influenced by any external parties such as Panda Global. So they were clear to say that, that it wasn't influenced by Panda Global, but we'll come back to Panda Global in a little bit. Any partner that we grant a license has to meet the high standards we require when it comes to the health and safety of our fans. And that was as much as they really explained. Like, there's more to that statement, but that's kind of like when you try to knuckle down on, okay, why didn't they actually grant the license? That's as kind of detailed as they really went. And they didn't look. They don't need to explain to people why they didn't give the license. That's like, but that's
maybe they do now.
Well, it would help.
I mean, yeah,
it would certainly help, especially like considering they've said and no activity and any activities next year, which to me is like remember, like this was a massive like prize pool, a massive amount of entrants and stuff. So it's thrown like at the moment, like unless something changes, VG Bootcamp running Smash World Tour are going to lose a shitload of money from this. Like they're going to be so out of pocket because they're also refunding people entrance fees, and it's a really bad situation for them.
Because I don't know if you wanted to. I know it's not in your run sheet, and again, like the story is kind of like evolving really quickly. That Ludwig, who used to be a big commentator, right, for Smash. Player commentator, but now he's like a big streamer and just internet personality in general. He's actually going to run like an ad hoc tournament this month to raise money for VGBC.
I did see that.
Yeah. Which is also interesting because he's a bit like, it's like a red rag to the bull. It's like, all right, I'm going to run this. Like, you want to come after me? Come on. Like, I think he actually wants them to come after him because it's like, all right, let's dance.
Yeah, and look, as you said, like Nintendo are well within their right to say, okay, we don't want to officially license this event, right? And we talked about this before in the past with the Big House and like all other events in the past where Nintendo have got them shut down for various reasons. For instance, like I think the Big House was using Slippy, the online mod for Melee, and that's why I think that's what Nintendo went on with that one. But I think, coming back to this Panda Global thing, and you brought it up now, which is good, is still the community's like, Panda Global was, a pretty big name in the community. Like they've got a bunch of top players under their belt. They're not only related to Smash, they're related to some other, games as well. But a lot of that hate was to the CEO, the Dr. Allen, like is like so much so that, like I'll say it now, like a lot of their members are actually, they've either resigned from the organization or they're actually said they intend to, including some top names like IBDW I talked about, and Plup and Waddy and Coney as well. So very big names in the community that have basically said they don't want to be part of Panda Global.
And don't forget, like we've actually covered Panda before. So we and we had a whole thing on their GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Like that they cancelled. Like I from my recollection, I backed that, and it got cancelled, right?
Yeah, and like that thing seemed cool, and it was weird that it got ended so quickly. Yeah,
it was like literally got funded by like the tune of like millions of dollars, and then like it was literally like the next day, oh no, we've cancelled this. It was so weird.
Well, not only did we cover that, we also covered the announcement of the Panda Cup and them officially
Yeah.
partnering with Nintendo, which at the time was like, hey, this is going to be the first officially licensed circuit, you know? And well, it's obviously this has gotten to this situation. But
And I think I told you as well that they actually reached out to us
mm,
to clarify some stuff. But I looked at it, I'm like, I don't think they're right, like in what they're trying to clarify. Like, I
about
don't
the
agree.
controller, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm a bit like, we kind of went back and forth a bit, actually. I'm like looking at the DMs right now. So,
So, just as a mini recap, remember earlier I said that the first letter from Smashville 2 was saying that the CEO of Panda Global was going around telling tour organizers you should sign on with us exclusively or you could get shut down, right? And so, remember, Nintendo said Panda Global was not an influence in the whole championships not getting a license. So people were waiting for Panda Global statements. So that's what we're getting to now. So they said this is just one part of it, but the team was not informed of any intention to cancel the Smash World Tour Championships, nor has the team ever engaged in conversations that sought those ends. Panda has listened to the community and changed some of our approaches to working with tournaments based on that feedback. The Panda Cup team does acknowledge and regret an interaction between Dr. Allen and Beyond the Summit, so I mentioned that earlier, in which he spoke in a manner that does not reflect either guidance from Nintendo or our own statements. So, look, I'm very happy that they at least admitted fault on that. I don't think, look, who knows the discussions between, Nintendo and someone like a partner like Panda Cup, but I don't think Nintendo is going to make a decision to not issue a license based on Panda saying it, personally. I just don't think Nintendo, I feel, has the power in that exchange, but I don't know what you think.
well, I like, you know what? Like, so we're both outsiders to the Smash scene, and we love the Smash scene, but we're outsiders to it, right? And I even watched it like, Technicals, the YouTuber slash, Smash player, agitator, and all that kind of stuff, right? And he's an interesting cat, and he's hated by a lot of people, including by VGPC and the people who are behind VGPC, right? I do kind of wonder if like Nintendo just looks at it and goes like, there's so much smoke around the Smash scene. Like, I got to be honest. Like, I love Smash, and I do in general love the Smash scene, but for fuck's sake, it is so childish and like a shock. It's childish. It's a kids game that like adults are playing, right? Like, but it's run in a way. And look, I do work at a large company, and see proper practices in place, but they don't have the right governance. Like, look at all the stuff that happened in 2020, which was horrible, right? But the way that they were like going after people and like canceling people and then putting people on global ban lists and having like secret evidence, and only a couple of people saw the evidence and they're banned and there's no way to, interrogate it or do anything. It's like they're just kind of law until themselves, like a lot of the scene. And I like Nintendo is an ultra conservative company, right? And I don't know, man. I think, if they were looking at anything to do with the Smash scene, VGBC, like the technical stuff, not saying it's technicals, but, like just the smoke around a lot of this stuff, I think they look at it and go, is this worth the brand risk for fucking like a Smash tour? And maybe they look at Panda and go, they've got it really buttoned down tight, like how they're going to run the events. But the way they've executed this whole thing is just about as horrible as they could ever. Like, it's almost like if they designed it to be terrible in terms of like pissing off the community, like getting back to the vibes of when they pulled out of like E3. They pulled out of oh man, I'm blanking on the name. Jesus, Evo. Sorry,
yeah.
When they forced like the organizers to not have Melee. And then the community went fucking wild about that, right? Like, I think they're back into that space, honestly. And my recommendation to the community, I think, like, what they should do is they should actually, instead of have VGBC organize the events, right? They should actually get the participants to sign up as organizers, right? So get like 1,000 people to be the organizers officially, right? So if Nintendo wanted to sue them for an unlicensed game, they're like literally suing 1,000 people, right? And I think like they almost need to be like have some serious balls and like put Nintendo basically like, Nintendo, what are you going to do? Are you going to actually blow us all up, or, you know, are you going to back off, right, with this bullshit? So, because no other company has this problem, right? Let's be real.
Yeah, and for me, like when it comes to the Panda stuff, I look at the amount of people that have said they're leaving, big names of people. There's people like Coney that are really like, you know, have big presence and
huge
YouTube
part of the community,
commentators and stuff like that. And if they're that quick to leave over the situation, then I think there's definitely like, I definitely think there's something here, you know, like obviously they apologize for it. But I think that like Nintendo is going to Nintendo all the time, right?
Oh, yeah,
and I think it absolutely sucks the fact that if it seems like they dragged them on with this, was because they talked about the fact that they had a proposal out in April, and like there were good discussions, but they were just like, hey, it's on the back burner. Hey, it's on the back burner. Hey, we can't get to this. Like the fact that it went so long, I really regret that. I feel sorry for the VG Bootcamp people there, because they probably had a hope on those early discussions that Nintendo was actually going to support them on that and give them the license. But it is kind of like like Nintendo's proven this in the past. You can't take them at their word all the time, you know, unfortunately.
Almost never, right?
So I really hope that, as you said, like Ludwig is doing something to help, and he's got a huge influence out there in the internet. I hope that, you know, they can bounce back a bit from that, and they're not too you know, hard done by financially, especially VG Bootcamp. But it is just like, this was, as I mentioned earlier, like was a shining light coming out of the pandemic for a lot of the community. And
we were excited about it, right? Yeah.
To get to the point where they're about to have the championships, and then just have it cut off, or at least, again, like they didn't say they had to cancel it. But anyway, it's cut off. Sucks. So I feel bad for the community.
But I will say, look, I don't know why I feel like I'm the corporate apologist, right? Number one, from everything I've seen, and I read most of this stuff, they never had a license from Nintendo to operate, right?
No.
So, and look, like, you know, like I said, I work at a really large company. There's like a lot of people that are engaging with us, and I got to be real. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, like we'll get around to this, and it's not locked in, right? And if they went out to the market and said, oh, we're locked in and we're doing this, and then they come to me to go, oh yeah, can we get the final sign off? I'd be like, nah, you're not going to get that. It might sound like I'm being a dickhead, but it's like they, to me, haven't got their ducks in a row. Like, if literally they don't have a license, I don't even know why they would go out and announce events.
Well, they talked about that in that letter. So if anyone wants to, I'm just saying for context, anyone wants to see, they describe the process that they went through. Whether or not you agree with the fact that they eventually said, "Oh, we've got to announce this," they do detail. We didn't go through it all because there's no time. So
yeah, I just keep that in mind. But I definitely would say that Panda comes off very poorly in this. Like it does really sound like either they're trying to strong arm people, or to be generous, they're trying to illuminate people of the risks that have actually eventuated. Let's be real, right? Maybe they're looking at it and going, hey guys, like you better work with us because we've got the license. They don't have it yet. They could get cancelled by Nintendo. You know what I mean? And maybe they went too far. But they come across very poorly. Panda Global to me comes across the worst out of all of these people. And then to me, actually, VGBC and then Nintendo. Because I feel like Nintendo's just being Nintendo. Like they haven't approved. If they approved of something, that's different. Like if they've actually given a license and revoked it, that would be bullshit.
Yeah, last thing I'll say is, you know, I mentioned Hungry Box before. Like he's come out officially and said that he will not take part in any Panda Cup events and anything like that. And there's a whole bunch of like that. Again, this is still an evolving story, right?
Yeah.
But if that stuff doesn't change and something doesn't like flip a bit for that, it's going to be a massive hit to their standing in the community, Panda Global. So,
well, I'll say like this. I think like given, look, Nintendo hasn't given the license. I think that's actually what people need to attack, less the Panda stuff. But I definitely think in general, people shouldn't even support the licensed one. right? Regardless if it's Panda or not, I think people need to go rogue and push the issue. And like, I don't honestly go so far as to go, they need to get this into court to be able to test this, right? For once and for all. Because the courts might actually look at it and go, wait a second, like, what is Nintendo trying to argue here? Like, by the letter of the black and white law, they have the rights, but there's always a general accommodation with the law as well to go, is Nintendo being even reasonable about this? Because you could turn around and go, well, wait a second, Nintendo allows people to stream on Twitch unlicensed. So like, why are they allowing certain things and not other things? Like, I think it'd be one of the most interesting court cases if it actually happened. It'd be like our Epic versus Apple stuff again.
God. All right, well, I think that's enough Smash Brothers talk for this episode. I think it's time to jump into our news wrap-up, the Big Sizzler. So there's actually been a bunch of stuff coming out this week, but nothing that we felt like we'd, put a full segment to. But Intigo, I'll give you the first shot.
Yeah. Monster Hunter Rise coming out to PS4, 5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and Game Pass. Very, very cool. And it's just randomly 1 year after the Steam release on the 20th of Jan. So.
Yeah, I was really obviously happy to hear that. I have it on Switch, but I'd rather play a game, at a high frame rate. Considering I'm only like 2 hours.
It's a social game. It's a multiplayer game. You're meant to play it with your friends.
But I actually was originally going to cover this as a story because there's a bit like there's a bunch of cool Game Pass stuff, and it was like a good way to like mix it all in. But unfortunately, there's not going to be any like cross progression or cross play like the PC version and the Switch version had as well, which is a bit of a shame. But
yeah, it's really annoying.
And I mean, it by default, it's not going to come with the Sunbreak expansion as well. So just be clear about that. So
which by the way, the base game is huge.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
One for me is the fact that the Switch version of Borderlands 3 has been rated in Europe, which is a bit wild to me. I have a hunch that game, it will be a streaming version because that game is like, that engine is way more advanced than Borderlands 2 because the Hanson Collection is on Switch, right? If it's running natively, I'm going to be super impressed. But yeah, it's like, that's a very surprising port to get announced, I feel. So...
yeah, for me, like, and I'm not a big fan of the Witcher series necessarily. I haven't really played them, but I thought it was interesting that CD Projekt actually came out saying that the Witcher 1, like the Witcher remake, will be an open world game. So they're going to change the way the game works fundamentally, which I kind of get because they're famous for open world games now, right? But it's interesting that they've gone back and remade a game into an open world game. I thought that was really kind of different. I can't actually think of an example of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, obviously game remakes can change, like something like Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? Drastically change the game, but this is like changing
but still
the entire structure.
Kind of linear though.
And this is the game being developed by Fool's Theory as well. So I'd be interested to see, like, what that ends up being. But another one from me, and one that I was very happy to hear about. So Machine Games are working on Indiana Jones, and like I'm not a huge fan of Indiana Jones. I like the movies, whatever, right? But the fact that they got Chronicles of Riddick and the Darkness director, a designer from them, Jens Anderson. That's what I'm going to say. Like, but he's now the lead designer on the Indiana Jones games, and I love the Chronicles of Riddick and the Darkness. Like the fact that those two games were like put together and he worked on them, I'm like, man, that game has now jumped up massively. And it makes sense when I actually read and was reminded of the fact that Machine Games is made up a lot of past Starbreeze people, and Starbreeze worked on those games. So I'm just really happy that was like really good news to hear about a game that I honestly didn't really have on my radar. So
nice. I thought it was interesting with Callisto Protocol coming out. Felt very crunchy based on also, Glenn Schofield saying they were crunching like crazy and then kind of retracting that statement, even though it's still true. And yeah, it seemed like it has a lot of performance issues. Look, like, I think ultimately as well, some people can like these kind of games and some people can have a mixed result, but it sounds a bit iffy, and I would imagine that they're going to patch it and make it much better. Might be one to keep an eye on, and I'm imagining this one will come to Game Pass pretty quickly, in my view.
Yeah, I probably won't be playing that game anytime soon, but I know Mike will be if he gives up.
Well, you
his not
can't
buying
because he's a
any.
minimalist. So
Yeah, but I mean, there's only like, is that till the end of the year? You know, it's less than
is it
30
really
days till
real?
2023.
Is it really real?
But I look, I've heard that the combat in that can get a bit rough in terms of difficulty, so they may rebalance that a little bit. Another one from me is the fact that we've got the next JoJo batch of Stone Ocean, the final batch of Part 6, the anime on Netflix, has been released, and Bandai Namco, actually really good guys here. So they've added a character for free, basically a character we thought would be part of the DLC for JoJo's All-Star Battle R. I should clarify, that's the actual game. So Weather Report was a character we thought would just be part of the season pass, like a paid DLC.
These names of these JoJo characters are so dumb.
Well, to get around the the whole we can't use songs,
Foo Fighters. And
so
like
in the dub in the English subtitles, it's called Weather Forecast, not Weather Report. Weather Report's some album name, I can't remember. But,
okay.
But yeah, so they added that character for free to coincide, and it's kind of good because it felt like for spoiler reasons as well. So it's like I like the fact that it coincided with that.
Oh,
so
okay,
cool. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start doubling up on mine a little bit. We did not hear back on our Wacky Wheels IP offer. Did not get an email. Very annoyed.
No response.
And I'm excited that Australia has introduced a bill for age gating of loot boxes. Feels about 5 years too late, given that kind of loot boxes have kind of disappeared. Let's be real.
So we talked about that a year ago. Who's the dude again?
Andrew.
Andrew Wilkie.
Andrew Wilkie.
Yeah, we talked about this last July. That's how long it's taken from him saying that he was going to introduce it. I know. So yeah, age gating loot boxes. I think that would be a fantastic idea.
I just think that loot boxes are a dying breed, right? Like they're all moving to these battle pass models now. So,
I mean, there's still like if we're covering the mobile market, there's still a lot there, like gacha stuff and things like that, But yeah,
I guess it's like the FIFAs of the world, right? Like, is that still a loot box?
I think.
Oh, so, okay, that's pretty big then. Okay.
FIFA Ultimate Team and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't really keep up with that stuff. I just think that on the face of it is like I would never engage in that shit. Like the idea of opening digital packs of cards to actually get a good team is just like, honestly, I know this is going to offend people, but like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, but I guess it's like Magic the Gathering and all that kind of stuff, right? So, have you got anything else?
No, I think there's something else you want to mention.
Okay. Yeah, we probably should have worked that a bit better. So the chill season in Splatoon 3 and the update, the 2.0 update got released. Good balance patches, very happy with it all. And they've also announced that Big Run's going to happen next week. So that's where it's like Salmon Run, like the Salmonids invade a regular stage and take over a regular stage. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do almost like a Splatfest type of thing where it takes over the whole game and everything like that. So I'm actually looking forward to that. And then the last one is, looping all the way back to the start, nice bookend, is I thought it was cool that Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, is coming to Xbox Game Pass. I shit on Xbox Game Pass a lot, but this is good. It's coming on PC and console, and I will play it through that. I'll play just the original trilogy and nothing else.
Yeah, I was really happy to hear that. And also the fact that they shadow dropped into Game Pass Eastwood for Xbox now.
I installed it and started it up, and I was like, actually like, oh, the art is not as good as I thought it would be, the start of it. And then I just got busy and I dropped it. Sorry, I didn't mention it at the start.
Yeah.
I saw that you installed it as well.
Yeah, I played it a little bit, but not enough to talk about it. But yeah, I'm just glad that, I was waiting for that game to come to Xbox and they just put it in Game Pass. They no warning, like here's the Eastwood, So
yeah, it's funny Game Pass in that way, isn't it?
All right. Well,
cool.
That's a lot of news, a lot of Smash Brothers, and time to get into the fun stuff. Yeah. We're gonna predict the winners and the big reveals for the 2022 Game Awards. Now, we've got a couple of conditions here for our reveals. There's a couple of things that have been announced that are going to be shown at the event. So, we're not going to, I'm assuming you haven't included those.
Well, I don't know what they are.
Well, I did mention it, but as in earlier in the week. But they are the fact that Tekken 8 is already confirmed to make an appearance.
Oh, I had that on there.
The fact that 505 Games and Epic Games must be like a dual publishing thing there. A title from them is due to be revealed as well. Mm-hmm. So, and the only other one, and we mentioned this a while back, I can't remember if it was on the show or off the show, the fact that the next Kojima game, possibly that Overdose horror game or whatever it is almost a shoo-in for the Game Awards. So we kind of said,
yeah,
that's a gimme almost. Like it might not show up, but it's almost like, hey, if we're going to say one is obvious, that's like an obvious
Jeff
one.
Keighley. It's Jeff Keighley. Like
exactly. There's always something for Kojima, whether or not it's a big thing or not. So
like in-person show again, it's like guaranteed to have something.
Now, when it comes to the categories, unlike previous years, we said we're going to try to predict every single one, including like the esports categories.
Esports was a killer.
Just like stuff that we have no idea about, but we're gonna do it anyway.
I never thought I'd Google simple, but I did.
All right. Do we want to start with what we think will be revealed?
Well, can we just say the elephant in the room that Mike is refusing to participate?
Yes, Mike has made it known on the show. Anyone that's listened, especially last week, that he's not a fan of the Game Awards and what they stand for. And the fact that he's also couldn't make it today, he said, he'd rather not probably take part. So,
and he's not going to be on the stream. We're going to stream this. We should say that we're going to stream the Game Awards.
We're
taking the day off work, people. It's during the day. And I wish I could say what I was doing the day before. I'm having like the most senior serious meeting. And I'm like, this is like the worst time ever if they found out I was streaming the Game Awards.
But we thought that we still feel like there needs to be a third voice in these predictions.
That's a good idea. I like that. So what should we do?
Definitely not something we've discussed previously.
No, definitely not.
I feel we need to just put almost like a proxy.
Oh yeah, there. I like that. Fill in the gap. There's a gap at the moment. You're right.
What do you have an idea for a name for this proxy?
It can't be Mike. We have to come up with some other name.
How about not Mike?
Oh, not Mike. I love it. Not Mike.
Totally doesn't have the same icon. You can't tell it, but he's actually got one eye color different than the other one. It's hard to tell.
Exactly. He's got a mustache. You just can't see it.
Okay. But that's just for the winner things. For the reveals, it's just going to be us two. Which means
we're not going to do not Mike predictions.
The proxy's at a disadvantage points-wise.
Can we do not Mike bad predictions?
Anyway, all right. Well, how do you want to?
I already have a not Mike prediction. Mario Brothers 4 is announced.
Okay. All right.
Let's do not Mike predictions as well.
All right. I'm gonna unhide it and.
Whoops!
Go. No, I did the wrong thing.
Oh shit! We're losing it. We're losing the plot.
Unhide, and I'm gonna rename this.
Not Mike. I'll do this one. Not Mike. You want to do the second one?
How did you go? Oh, okay. And to be clear, this is not Mike's predictions. He's not taking.
This is not Mike's prediction. So I'll do the first not Mike prediction.
Okay.
Mario Brothers 4 NES style is announced. There you go. I got the first one.
Mine is Portal Companion Collection.
I was gonna do that. Damn
it. 2. It's funny, like Valve were talking about Half-Life 3, Portal 3 this week, so...
Maybe we should just say Fallout 5. That's a very Mike prediction, isn't it?
Okay, Fallout 5.
Not Mike prediction, sorry.
All right.
That's a very not Mike prediction.
All right.
All right, do you want me to go with my first one, then you do yours?
Yeah.
All right, so my first one is, and I've mentioned this before, but I'm just going to go with it again. There's going to be a tease. Now, they've got to carefully do this. But how can there not be a Mario video game when there's a Mario movie coming out and they've got a theme park? We're due for a Mario 3D platformer, and I think the twist will be that they have Donkey Kong in it.
Cool. All right. Do you want to? Are we going into?
Yeah, you go yours. Yeah.
My first one. It's not super exciting, but Final Fantasy Pixel remasters announced for consoles.
Oh, you're like, damn! You're not even stretching these ones. I love it.
What do you mean? Like that's not. There's no rumors about that or anything. So
Yeah, go on.
I mean, Final Fantasy Pixel remasters are only on mobile and Steam at the moment.
Yeah, they'll
they've been
definitely
like
come
that
to
for
console.
ages.
They'll definitely come to
So
console.
that's my prediction is that they'll announce that.
All right. Well, I can't remember what this prediction was. Oh, yes, an Uncharted 5 teaser.
Ooh, that's a big. That's a big one.
Uncharted 5 teaser.
All right, my second one is a Dragon Age trailer with first look at gameplay in the
that's a
2023
good
release date.
Not sure about the 2023 release date, but I like that.
So
That's
they're
pretty
going to
good.
announce it. Whether or not they stick to 2023 is another deal.
Oh, I'll give you that. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah,
they so
I'll give you
2023, and then it's probably ends up being mid
Announced
2024 or something. Yeah.
Now, what is my last one? It's a new Super Giants game.
Ooh.
Super Giant Games. Sorry, title was announced. So
Cool,
the makers of Hades, I think they're due for their next game. My luck, they'll have a Hades DLC. Wait, can I change this title / DLC?
Okay.
That could save me.
Fine.
That could save me.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. My last one is I don't think it's got a hope of happening, but it's a random prediction. All right.
Yeah.
Sekiro remastered, upgraded edition for PS5 Series X. So,
Sekiro Remastered. Yeah.
so basically, because that game,
It would be good if it was Bloodborne, man. That would have been a good prediction.
no, but that's the thing is Sekiro. Remember that's an Activision published title as well.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, I get you.
I did think about the Elden Ring DLC, but I'm like, actually, I kind of like the Sekiro thing just feels a bit more out there. Like think of Scholar of the First Sin, where it's also a bit changed as well. And I don't know if there'd be new areas or anything, but it's almost like an upgraded version alongside it being a remaster for current gen and stuff. So
Yeah. Now let's spice this up. Let's give an extra point to the most extreme prediction. So I'll give you one extra point for I'd say it's either between Sekiro and Dragon Age.
I think Sekiro.
I'd say
is more-
Sekiro, yeah, Sekiro. So this is your bonus. Well, how do I do this? Bonus 1 point.
Okay, so we're doing that. We're not going to do the half point nonsense.
Oh, do you want to do half point?
I don't know. I don't know if you were going to go there or not.
No, let's just do a bonus point.
All right. Okay.
So the not Mike prediction, which one is the most extreme? Probably this one. The
Yes.
Portal Companion Collection 2.
That's 0% chance of that.
And I'll let you decide which one you think is my most extreme prediction.
I think Uncharted 5.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. This is a good segment. All right. Do you want to jump into Game
Let's
of
get
the
to
Year?
there's a lot of categories, so let's just get into it.
Should we? Oh, well, Game of the Year is pretty obvious, I think. Well, it's yeah. Anyway, do we want to make it 5 points still, or bump it down to 3?
I think Game of the Year at 5 still makes sense.
Okay. Let's do it. All right. Do you want to tic tac? So I'll go first, or you go first, and then
You go.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm looking at my sheet, and I had Elden Ring.
Oh, it's covered, brought across some grey. There we go. I'm going to fix that. All right. Elden Ring is also a go for me. Now, we haven't figured
there's
out...
some grey. There's some grey.
We didn't say how we're actually going to do not Mike's choices.
Well, he would say Ragnarok.
And look, Ragnarok has a chance.
Yeah, definitely has a chance.
Cool.
All right, so you're next.
All right.
By the way, I'm just going to stick to whatever I'm predicting anyway, so it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
that we're tic-tacking, but I'm sure you're the same.
Best game direction, I'm also doing Elden Ring.
Oh, okay, we're separating here. I put Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Now, what is not Mike? You pick the not Mike one for this one. What's a not Mike?
I'm going to go
prediction?
Stray for not Mike.
Yeah, I would have said Immortality or Stray is not Mike.
You know,
Maybe Immortality, right?
there was a moment that I had Immortality.
Yeah, let's do Immortality. Let's do Immortality. This is the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Hey, Immortality's... Yeah.
No. I know.
All right, best narrative.
Best narrative, I had God of War Ragnarok.
Okay, I have Immortality.
Oh, nice. Now, Mike would pick, I reckon Plague Tale.
Yeah,
I reckon that's a Mike pick. I swear, if not Mike wins, I'm going to be so pissed.
Man, why these things just stay with the lines. All right.
Art
who's
direction,
next?
you.
I am going for Scorn.
Oh, not bad. I had to go with
That-
Stray.
I was about to say it's about the only thing I had going for. I actually didn't mind Stray.
that's harsh.
Scorn. I didn't mind Scorn, but I think
It applies to Stray as well.
when it comes to what it does above average, then yes.
I just think Stray is like such a darling and it's so annoying. And I remember everyone banging on about the art direction, which was decent. So
that was cool.
I've got it there.
All right. You go.
Not Mike. I feel like, to be honest,
not Mike.
I'd probably say Scorn, honestly.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably put Scorn.
All right.
All right. I think it's, is it my turn?
It's your turn, yeah.
Okay, so best score and music. I had God of War Ragnarok.
I also have God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not Mike has... Oh, no, I think it's your choice.
Not Mike, I'm putting in Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, I was going to say that or Metal Hellsinger. Because that's a music-based game. But, yeah. I actually was toying between Xenoblade for a while.
All right, audio design. I will go for Gran Turismo 7.
I had the same. And Mike has to have the same. Come on. Not Mike has to have the same. Doesn't he?
No, I reckon he should always...
Wait, you're saying he's not Mike? Because Mike would definitely pick Gran Turismo.
No, but that's a fact. It's not Mike.
Okay, so then
Mike.
do you want to say Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, let's do Modern Warfare.
Okay.
All right.
Who's it up to?
You go.
Okay, so best performance. I spent a long time on this one, actually. I'm going to say Charlotte McBurney.
All right. I am going to go for Man Engage.
Oh,
Immortality.
okay. Okay. I feel you.
I will put... Not Mike.
Wait, no, isn't it my pick or is it your
Is it
pick?
yours?
Oh, no, it's yours because I picked Modern Warfare 2.
Christopher Judge.
Yeah, I was going to pick that as well.
Well, not Mike could win this.
I like how we are picking, like, not what Mike would pick, but it's almost like what Mike would pick as an alternate Mike, like with a mustache.
Games for Impact. By the way, I just realised we're not calling any of these nominees out for audio listeners, so I apologise about that. It's going to take... Unfortunately, it's going to take way too long.
That's boring. That's boring.
Yeah, so... Games
They can
for
look
Impact.
it up. They can look it up.
Games for Impact. I struggle with this one.
Wait, who's it up to? Who went first?
I'm going.
It doesn't matter. I've already picked them anyway. But yeah. I struggled with it. I read about every single game. I literally spent like that much time on it.
I'm just going to go Citizen Sleeper.
Oh yeah, I had 3 that I was picking between, and I went with As Dusk Falls in the end.
Okay,
What would
not
Mike go
Mike.
for?
Not Mike is going to go for. I was a teenage exocolonist.
Yeah, like I think it was my pick, but I was going to pick that one as well. So it's
all right. Best ongoing game.
All right, it's on me, isn't it?
Yep.
Destiny 2.
I am going for Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, I reckon that's a bad choice.
Oh, it's not your choice.
Which queen? Which queen is this year, man? Which queen?
It's not your choice.
You know what? I hope you get this right, and then on the stream you're gonna be like, "Fuck you, Ben."
I'm gonna put for not my. I think it's
Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact.
Fortnite.
No.
Fortnite.
All right, I'm picking the next. I'm picking the next not Mike one.
Man, The Rock was in Fortnite twice.
All right, so we're up to best indie. Who's it on?
Best indie.
You or me?
Fuck, there's a lot of categories. I think it's you.
Okay, I had for best indie Stray.
I also had Stray.
And not Mike will pick Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, that could win.
Best mobile game, Swinny. This was hard. I had to...
Going for Marvel Snap.
And so did I.
God, we're too alike sometimes.
Yeah, we are quite similar. Oh, not Mike's going to go for Diablo Immortal.
Hey, it could win. I just love the fact that you put not Mike as Diablo Immortal.
Okay, best community support.
Yeah, your turn.
This one's really tough, man, because I actually read about each one of these community things. And
I did not.
Dude, every single tweet where it goes, Apex Legends nominated for best community support, there's always someone underneath going, oh my God, like, you know, their eyes crying of laughter. It's like, best community support? You mean worst community support? Every single game had that. So then I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to pick. So then I ended up picking No Man's Sky.
Shitheads, dude.
I know. I picked No Man's Sky.
Oh, fuck you. No Man's Sky as well.
Oh, really?
I feel like changing it now.
He's got to go Fortnite again, doesn't he?
Okay.
Okay, innovation and accessibility. You go.
God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, I reckon I'm going to win this one. Last of Us Part 1.
I didn't even notice that was in
They
there.
did, like, that was one thing that everyone highlighted in the reviews. Like, because they went over the top with the accessibility stuff. Mike, what would not Mike do? You know what he's going to do?
The Quarry.
Ah, damn. I was going to say Return to Monkey Island. Because he kept on talking about how easy it was or, all that stuff.
All right.
But I guess that's not Mike, though. So it should be the Quarry,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
All right. Best VR AR. It's my pick, right?
Yep.
Moss Book 2.
I'm going Among Us VR.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Bit of a
And
Portal Companion Cube collection.
Not Mike can go for some Bone Lab.
Bone Lab?
No, it's your turn. It's your turn, actually.
Yeah, I'll go with Bone Lab.
All right.
I think it's
Best
you.
action game.
Or is it me? Who is it?
It's me.
Okay.
Best action game. I'm going to go for some Neon White.
Oh, okay. Some separation here. Shredder's Revenge.
And not Mike. Go for some Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
He could win.
I like this is just like half an hour of bullying from us to our dear friend.
It's not Mike. All right. Best action adventure.
Who was it up to? Me?
You.
I had God of War Ragnarok.
Same. God of War Ragnarok as well.
And not Mike will pick what?
It's your turn, man.
It's all kind of boring, actually. I feel like you'll pick Ragnarok.
Okay.
It's
Just
almost like
cross that whole category.
no, but it's almost like the new contrarian way.
I know.
All right. This is your expertise, RPGs. You
I
are
know.
the expert on the panel.
Not that I expected it to be nominated, but Rise of Third Power should have been nominated. I got to
Sounds
go.
a bit Kanye West of you.
I got to go on Ring.
Oh, so I did not. I don't think people, when they look at this, will think it's an RPG. That sounds crazy what I'm saying, but okay. I had Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
All right, not Mike.
You know what he had?
Live alive.
No, it has to be Pokemon, dude.
Oh,
Come on, you missed the obvious one. It has to be
All right.
Arceus.
okay, Arceus. All right. You will be into that one.
Okay,
All right.
best fighting game. I think that's me, yeah?
Yep.
Multiverses.
Fuck you, Multiverses.
And Mike picked Sifu. Not Mike. Not Mike.
Not Mike.
Not Mike. Sorry. I can't get the line straight.
All right, family game. My turn. I'm going to go for Splatoon 3.
Oh, I wish it was, but I think Kirby will win it. And what will not Mike pick?
Not Mike is going to... Oh, it's your turn, actually.
Hey, why is my thing not
Oh, no,
working?
that's-
The little row thing.
I don't know. We'll just fix it. I'm going to... For not Mike...
Yep.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
Okay.
Again, not Mike could win this.
Oh, yeah, he easily could win this.
All right,
Best sim strategy. I think I was first. It's my turn, right?
Yeah.
I had Total War Warhammer 3.
And I have gone for Victoria 3.
Oh, nice. Not Mike would go for Mario Rabbids or... I think not Mike would be 2 Point Campus, right?
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right.
It's hard to think of someone that doesn't like actually exist what they think of, you know. All right, so we have best sports racing. I mean, I can't go with anything other than Gran Turismo 7.
I had Ollie Ollie World. Ollie Ollie World.
And
not
not Mike.
FIFA 23? FIFA 23?
Gran Turismo 7. I pasted it. You deleted it.
Oh, did what? I pasted the same thing. That's weird.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right.
Best multiplayer.
Best multiplayer.
Who's
We're like 2/3 of the way through, people.
I mean, people could like tune out any time that they want. Best
All right.
multiplayer. Best multiplayer.
It's your turn first.
My turn? Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2.
I'm going to also go Splatoon 3.
Oh, fuck. I hope it wins, man. I'll be happy to lose if it's just Splatoon 3 winning some awards. That'd be sweet.
And not Mike is a huge fan of loot boxes. So
Overwatch 2?
Overwatch 2. All right.
Such an asshole thing.
We have content
All right,
creator of the
You're
year.
on first. You're on first for this one.
I was stuck between two here.
So was I for a little bit.
QT Cinderella.
Oh, really? Okay, different ones. I have Ludwig.
Yeah, I actually have Ludwig written down. And
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
Ludwig, I think, will win that one. And Mike's going to go
Not
Nibelian.
Mike.
Not Mike. He's going to go Nibelian.
Okay.
I can't keep this shit straight.
All right, your turn.
Oh, fuck. I feel like almost changing my mind on this one. Is it my turn? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it.
It's best debut indie, by the way.
I know. Stray. I can't see how you could get around the logic.
Vampire Survivors, baby.
No, I actually had that in for a while. I think it could win, man. I think it could win, honestly.
All right. And
No,
not
Norco.
Mike.
Norco, not Mike. Not Mike's going for Norco.
Norco is a brilliant game. Best adaptation.
Whose go is it?
It is mine, and I'm going for Arcane League of Legends.
Oh, I went for Edge Runners. I actually think the Cuphead show is really good, by the way, as well. So there's some good stuff here.
And not Mike is going for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Did you know what I was going to put?
Yeah. I was going to paste it there if you didn't. I was going to delete it.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Who's it on?
You.
Oh, me. Legend of Zelda for the most anticipated game. Tears of the Kingdom.
Same. Tears of the Kingdom.
I thought you were going to go Starfield.
Nah, that's burnt me already in the past.
Hogwarts Legacy.
That game looks fun.
All right.
All right.
Now we're into the real shit.
Oh, the esports category.
Dude, I had to Google every fucking one of these.
I did not look a single damn thing up. I actually found the clip, the exact timestamp of where I correctly predicted 3 of them last year during the live stream.
Yeah, you were like, why did we vote on this?
So 3 in a row. So okay, that's gonna win, and I had no idea what I was saying.
All right, who is first?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm first.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you go first.
going for Valorant.
Oh, okay. I'm going for League. League, as I call it. LOL.
Not Mike is going to go for Rocket League.
Yeah, Rocket League. Yeah. Sweet. I can't believe that was nominated. That's awesome.
All right.
Best esport athlete. I went for Faker.
I went for Jacob Whittaker for Valorant.
What is Mike going to go for?
Not Mike.
Not Mike. Someone's like, surely this show's going to be titled Not Mike.
Mike, not Mike.
Mike, come on, not Mike.
Your turn to select.
Is it? I just said Faker though. Oh, it's to select not Mike. Okay,
Yes.
so I got it right that time. He loves.
I like we're changing we're trying to be so down to the serious. It's your turn to choose not Mike's selection.
He's not Mike's a big fan of FaZe Clan, so he's gonna go for Carrigan.
All right, cool. All right, best esports team. I am gonna go for.
What did I do?
I'm gonna go for Dark Zero. Let's get some Apex in
Dark Zero, Apex. I'm gonna go for FaZe Clan, CS:GO.
And not Mike is gonna go for Call of Duty, of course.
Yeah, LA Thieves. LA Thieves.
Yeah, that's right, LA Thieves.
Best esports coach.
An important part of the mix.
Is it? All right, go. Is it me or you? I can't remember. I thought it said FaZe Clan. Oh no, you said that one. Okay, I had.
Doesn't really matter.
Eric Doom Bros Sungren for Valorant. FPX. Team FPX.
I have
Org.
Mateus Bizcar Tarasconi for Valorant.
You know, we're going to sound super old because we're not saying these things correctly.
we are.
At least we know the games. All
right, your turn to choose, not mine.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
He's going to pick Andriy Blade Horodensky for CSGO.
Cool. And the lucky last.
Yes, who's picking the last category?
Esports event. I think I go.
Yep.
This one was actually tough. I went for the 2020 mid-season invitational for League of Legends.
Ah, whoa! Why'd you do that? Explain yourself so that I can change my vote.
Because the World Championships for League of Legends won last year. So
I'm going to say the world.
it could still win.
I had the world written down, but yeah,
I actually had that originally, and I'm like, no, I'm going to change to the other one just because the other one won.
And not Mike is going to pick Evo because he's a big fan of Evo. He loves to stream it. All right.
Oh man! All right,
Now
so
we actually picked quite a lot different. Just
that's
flying
cool.
through it now. So
And not Mike has a he has a chance other than those reveals.
yeah.
Look, and the good thing about the reveals is there's actually a good chance that none of them will happen, right? So that isn't really that much of a knock against him.
No,
The fact that we put some
no.
bullshit ones in for not Mike.
I don't think we ever won any of the reveals apart from Mike with the Metroid 5 thing, right?
I think that was an E3 prediction.
Yeah,
but
E3
same
prediction,
thing,
but
yeah.
that was like one of the only times that predictions actually come
Yeah.
off. We
I
often
know, he
get the
nailed
predictions
it, man.
wrong. Yeah, bastard. Now,
alright.
it's going to be hilarious if it gets all the way down, because the voting's pretty much almost a reverse. If it gets down to the wire, we're separated from Mike by like 3
Not
points.
Mike.
Not Mike. By 3 points. And then God of War Ragnarok wins. That is actually going to be awesome. We almost need to have something like ready to go, like confetti or some shit like that.
That was fun.
That was funny.
fun.
That was funny. Look, as much as real Mike does not like the Game Awards, I think it's a fun celebration of gaming. And look, let's be real. Jeff Keighley does like hyping things up, and he is ultra hyping this up. Have you heard of all the shit that he's been saying about the Game Awards?
Yeah, something like it's the best feeling he's had before a show in ages.
Yeah.
But then, then during the Summer Games Fest, it's like we've got like 4 to 5 reveal world premieres on the level of Elden Ring, which was a load of shit. As much
Did he
as
say
those
that?
games,
Did he
are cool.
say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
As much as look, we had Alan Wake 2, we had some good stuff, but to say 4 to 5 on the level of Elden Ring is you were shitting on him for that.
Yeah. So, and also in other news, let me just bring this up without doxing myself again. So, can you see my screen?
Yes.
This is why fans don't vote. This is why fans are not allowed to vote on the Game Awards, and their vote is very minimal, right? So, there's a player's voice round. So, we're up to round 2 now, and there's only 5 games left, right? And the number 1 game that the fans vote for, is it Elden Ring? No. Is it God of War Ragnarok? No. Stray? No. It's Sonic Frontiers. That is the number 1 game that people are voting on right now.
Don't take this as me saying, it's not ridiculous. There's a lot of people who love Sonic Frontiers. There are a lot of
Yeah,
people.
but it's not Game of the Year, bro.
Actually, funny enough, I'm talking about Game of the Year. So True Achievements have their, they always do a bracket thing that people vote on. And the first thing that I had to vote between was Tunic or Vampire Survivors was like the round
no.
1.
No.
So, of course I voted
Tunic has
Vampire
been really
Survivors.
forgotten in this whole process. I mean, it's a really great game. It's a really great game. I'd recommend it, but yeah, I don't feel like Tunic's going to win any awards, unfortunately. I didn't realize that Stray is technically a debut indie. So I just, how the hell is Stray not going to win all the indie categories? Personally, I just can't see it. I just think people are
Because
gonna vote for it.
Vampire Survivors is gonna win Best Debut Indie, baby.
Look, I'd be happy to be I'd happy to be wrong.
I just want to quickly just mention something about Vampire Survivors, right? I'm still hankering to play that game, even though I've done everything. So I'm like, I didn't talk about it a few weeks ago, but they actually released a little mini update that added some new stuff in and some new achievements. I'm like, jump back in. I'm like, yes, I got an excuse to play it.
You got a sickness,
So
man.
what I felt was that game was like my comfort food game.
Yeah.
And I've been struggling. I don't want to really start a new game. I just want to sit down and play something. So you know what game I've now reverted to?
What?
I played it a lot last 2 days.
Oh.
I've gone back to Power Wash Simulator.
Dude, can I just say, I was literally going to install that game. I'll install it. Do you want me to install it? Do
I've been playing that
you want to
so
play
much.
multiplayer? Do you want to play
Well,
co-op?
I got to check whether or not I can. I don't know. Is there cross-play on that thing? Because I've been I don't think my save file was on the PC version when I loaded it up. So, but I'd still play it on PC just for fun. But I actually gotten really hooked on it. Because honestly, I can just sit down and just do nothing. It's just mindless. It's absolutely mindless.
Well, it supports Xbox Steam multiplayer crossplay. So surely it would support Xbox
Maybe.
Game Pass.
we shall. Maybe we'll give it
I'll
a shot.
install it. I'll install it, man. Hit me up. Look, the thing is, work has been so flat out for me recently. I literally just have no headspace for anything that's gonna get me thinking. You know what I mean? That's why I've been playing Splatoon 3 so much, because it's like, and Loop Hero, because it's like, I just skip all the dialogue in Loop Hero. There's a lot of it, and I just skip all of it.
I'm not too. I'm not afraid to admit that I had a very late night last night, and I may have been playing Power Simulator up until 4 in the morning.
But is there that much in that game? There's not that much in that game, right?
I mean,
I guess we
there's
should
enough.
go to the next segment, right? Which
There's
is
enough.
like ending the show. But
I know. There's enough in Power Simulator. I don't think I'd want more. But I'm like, it's either that or House Flipper, and House Flipper requires more thinking. So
Power Wash, it is like, I remember I watched a segment with Conan O'Brien playing Power Wash Simulator. And you're just like, you know, and these nerds, and they've got dirty rooms, like just clean their rooms. Why wouldn't they clean their rooms?
I looked up, I had no idea what the achievements were in Power Simulator, but I looked them up, and there's one, you know, the first level, the van.
Yeah.
There's one for cleaning the entire van with the thinnest, like, a setting,
No.
like the smallest setting to clean the entire
That's
van
funny.
with that.
That's funny. That would be crazy annoying. You're not going to try to do the achievement.
I'm going to give it a shot, yeah.
Fuck you.
No, I'm
You're
not going to
sick.
try to do them all, but that one interests me.
Yes.
That's the kind of achievement I like fun, stupid stuff like that isn't like ridiculous, you know.
That
Like,
is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but I could see you doing it in an hour or something. You know,
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I get that.
compared to other games. All right, well, I think so. We have that live reaction for the Game Awards, just like probably everybody else on the internet related to gaming and YouTube. But yeah, we're gonna attempt to keep track of all the scoring as well. But the thing is, they just randomly throw up categories and bunches
Yeah, they
sometimes.
do. Yeah.
So whether or not, I think all of that happens post pre-show. I think they only start doing that in the main show, but we'll see how.
No,
it goes.
I think there's winners in the pre-show as well.
Well, I have to look it up because when I was looking up that esports thing, I couldn't remember if that was pre-show or not. But we'll figure it out. And that stream was over 3 hours long last year, so
Oh, well, it's just an afternoon. I'm going to get...
I'm like, he's
Doesn't really bother
regretting
me.
his life.
No, I'm not. No, it's funny. It's just hanging out with a mate, really.
It's
you
an
know?
endurance stream, and there's Twitch streams out there that stream for like fucking 18 hours a day, and we're like 3 hours.
You're saying that. I'm not saying that. I said it's nothing. Water off a duck's back.
Okay, Mr. Endurance.
Yeah, that's what the ladies call me.
All right. Well, with that, I think it's time to wrap up the show. Thanks everyone for joining, and it's been a lot of Smash and a lot of Game Awards, so probably a good thing Mike.
A lot of not
wasn't
Mike
here.
topics.
Yes.